Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Talk and live stream. I want to warmly welcome everybody to this practice, and let's get started. In this video, I'm going to teach you a framework on how to create anything you want by choosing who you wish to be right now. And what does that mean? Choosing who you wish to be now means you literally choose who you are and what you're doing in the moment. What's blocking us from creating what we want right now in our life? And that's our identity. And our identity, just to make things simple for conversation, is located in the brain. It's also termed separated self, your ego. And your sense of identity is how you define yourself. And really, your identity is your habitual processes, your habitual behavior. And this is how it works. You'll get a feeling someplace in your body. That feeling is going to bring about a memory. That memory is going to pop in your brain, and it's going to create a bunch of other thoughts. When this process happens, your habitual patterns have now taken over. Your identity is in control. You, the person you want to be and what you want to create, is checked out of control, and your habitual processes are going to play out in your life. The problem is most of our identities was created out of trauma from when we were children. And like energies attract like energies. So when your identity is in control, it was triggered originally by negative feelings. And our negative feelings are now encompassed in this separated self, in this brain, in this controlled state of the identity, and its energy is very much polarized to negativity. And this is why a lot of our habitual patterns move us away from the life we want to create, rather than us allowing ourselves to create the life we want to create and move into that life. You can't change your identity. One of the things that self-help and some of these other processes out there want you to do is change yourself. And the whole idea is you can't change your identity. You can't record over the tapes of the separated self, of the identity itself. The identity is behaviorally set through very strong habits. Think of it this way. Most of us have been within our identity for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, okay? Longer. That is a much stronger force than the person you decided who you wanted to be today. I mean, think about it. Your identity, you have been following this habitual patterns for absolutely decades. You've only been working on following or creating new habitual patterns for a day, a week, maybe a couple of weeks, moving into the self that you want to create, the person you want to be. It's always going to be a stronger force, and the stronger force is always going to prevail. That's the identity. So if we can't change our identity, what we can do is focus on and shift into our chosen, desired self. And what does this mean? Well, you choose who you want to be, and you allow yourself to stay in control and become that person. And to do that, I use this formula: honesty plus integrity is equal to alignment. What that means is the words that you speak to yourself and the world, the actions you take, when your actions are aligned to the words that you use, either silently to yourself or verbally to your external world, that's alignment. Where we have alignment, there's authenticity. In other words, when we do what we say we are going to do, we become authentic. And that's the backbone of this framework, if you will. that I'm teaching. So this framework is not about what to do, it's about how to do it. Most individuals want to tell you exactly what to do. I don't feel like we can do that, and this is why. I offer a framework. And a framework is really a form. It's a structure. And what do I mean by this? Try pouring concrete. Pour a bunch of concrete without frames. And it's going to look like a lava flow. It's not going to set up properly. It's not going to be the right thickness. You're not going to be able to build a structure off of this concrete because it's just going to be poured randomly and it's going to dry and set in a random way. A framework allows you to build the frames around the perimeter, and then you pour the processes into the frame. So the framework is it's a way of focusing on the structure itself, and then the process, you align that to your own thinking, beliefs, and values. Now the process becomes aligned to you. The framework gives you a focus to bring about the processes that work for your own individual thinking, belief systems, and values, your own uniqueness. So the process becomes unique to you that you use within the framework. And you can do in the context of your beliefs. In other words, you can only do in the context of your beliefs. What you believe is going to drive all of your actions. And you must align your processes to your belief system. If you don't, well, you're not going to be able to do them. You're not going to be able to follow them. As soon as you get triggered through emotions, your identity is going to take control again, and you're going to be checked out because you weren't able to do what you wanted to do in the first place because your processes were not aligned to your belief system. So what I'm hoping is that this experiment, if you will, of these talk sessions of both morning and the evening are designed to help you find processes aligned to your belief systems that you will be able to use to create your desired self. And the framework itself is actually broken down into 7 traits and into 2 main sections. So the first section is the mindset. What we set our mind on becomes our focus. And when our mind is set in a direction, we become focused. And this is so important because what you focus on, you create. On the other side of the equation for mindset is mindfulness. Mindfulness is what gives you the new understanding through experiences to grow. So this whole idea of this framework is designed for you to create a mindset aligned to allowing you to grow through new understanding from your experiences. That growth is what creates your desired self. You grow into the process. You take that growth from mindfulness and you apply it to the mindset and you make adjustments to grow more into your desired true self. So in the mindset, we've got honesty, desire, and integrity. In the mindfulness structure, we've got focus, consistency, perseverance, and clarity. Now let's get into this. In the core traits of mindset, it starts with honesty. Honesty. Why honesty? What we resist persists. The more we resist the identity, the more we try to say it doesn't exist, the more we try to move away from it, the more it's going to be in control because what we resist persists. The way we stop this is through honesty. We acknowledge, we accept, and we become okay with the identity. And this is why this works. We have an emotional vibration. Everything in the universe is energy, and all energy is in constant movement. It's vibrating. Our emotions vibrate at a specific emotional frequency, or our emotions vibrate at an emotional frequency. When we are stuck in a negative emotion, we are vibrating at that frequency. Like energies attract like energies. Like vibrations attract like vibrations. When we're feeling negative emotions, we're going to attract more negative like vibrations within our environment. The idea is to lift and raise our emotional vibrational frequency. When we do this, we actually open ourselves up to feeling new emotions. New emotions are going to attract new emotional vibrations. In this case, new ideas. The new ideas are going to be aligned to your focus, your mindset. Honesty is all about moving away from the identity through acknowledging, accepting, and becoming okay with the identity to allow your new mindset to gain a threshold of control. Through that control process, you can start moving into some of the higher levels of the emotional frequency. Desire. What is it that you really want? Become clear in what you want. Because at first, you're going to focus on this desire. By focusing on the desire, you're going to start to get new ideas because you're lifting your emotional vibration. The new ideas come from the new vibrational frequency. When you start vibrating at a higher frequency, new ideas are going to start to come to you. You're going to take these ideas and you're going to apply them to integrity. You're going to build a process for yourself that you're able to focus on and become consistent in your actions. Desire is extremely important. Desire is important to focus on until you gain the processes. When you gain the processes, you can start taking action. Shift your focus to the action you're going to take. Shift your focus to the processes. This is why. When you're focused on desire, you're focused on the results and you achieve a result, you release adrenaline. Adrenaline is a fast flowing emotion, and when it's gone, you're going to feel empty, or you're going to be looking for that next fix, that next thing that you can do or accomplish in order to feel good again. This is going to be ebbs and flows in your emotional frequency. You're going to have a tendency to shift back into your identity more often. So what you do is you focus on the processes. When you focus on the processes, you actually release dopamine. When you think you're moving towards where you want to go, that's faith. When you believe you're moving towards where you want to go, of course, that's belief. When you blend faith and belief together, you get trust. Where there's trust, there's a knowing and there's an understanding that you've already achieved what you want to achieve. And you're achieving it through the process of life. Life becomes the process for you, and you find your joy, you find your authenticity, your authentic self following that process. It no longer becomes about the thing. It becomes about the doing. It becomes about the process. Focus itself is just that. Focus. What we focus on, we create. And so to maintain our focus through our mind allows us to shift away from the identity, from the brain, and allow ourselves to make determined choice, which is following our processes, not allowing the habitual behaviors to dictate our actions. When we become consistent in following our processes, now we've blended focus and consistency together, and we're set in a direction. But life is not perfect. Life is hard, it's difficult, and we're going to get challenged. Those challenges, life is going to throw us a curveball, and we're going to shift back to our identity. When we allow our identity to play out, we allow our story and our narrative to replay itself through our life, we're going to move back to the beginning of the process again, and we're going to have to start over. However, we can recognize, acknowledge, accept the fact that we shifted into our identity. Through that knowledge and acceptance, we stop resisting the identity itself, and we allow ourselves to be in a position to shift from the identity back into our mindset, back into our mind, where we can make determined choice. That perseverance allows us to grow. We gain clarity, we gain new understanding, we gain new clarity and understanding about the identity, what caused us to shift in the first place, what we did to shift back into our new desired state. When we do this, that's the process of growing, because through that new understanding, that new knowledge, that new understanding, we gain wisdom. Wisdom allows us to apply that information back to the beginning of the process, back to our mindset. And we reaffirm or we adjust our own self-honesty. We reaffirm or we adjust our own desire. We reaffirm or we adjust our process. This is what allows us to grow in the mindset of mindfulness. And that clarity is really just gaining that new wisdom, that new understanding that perpetuates the growth, our own personal growth in the process. This is a very broad overview of the process itself. On Amazon, I have a book. It's the practice of creating authenticity. Okay, and that's what the book is all about. The book is actually titled, the book is actually titled The Power of Practicing Authenticity. And you can find that book on Amazon. That book goes into much more detail about this process. If you need to know how the framework works, check out that book. It's going to give you great information, and it's a great read on how our identity works and how we can shift or really create and shift into our true self. These sessions are going to go on 6 days a week. As we grow into these sessions, I'm going to go into each one of the traits individually and explain exactly what that is. Then I'm going to share with you another framework that we're going to use to help us structure our day for the morning, and then at night, apply gratitude to the process, which is going to move ourselves into alignment of that process itself. All right, so things are going to move forward here. It's not always going to be about, okay, here's the framework. The whole idea of this channel and this process of these TOC sessions is to allow you to find processes aligned to creating your true self. If you're serious about creating the life that you want to live, I'm serious about mentoring and coaching you in creating that life. So check us out, 6 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Monday through Saturday, we're going to be here doing these videos, helping you create the life that you want to create. If you have questions, email me, tony@thethresholdofcreation.com. Ask questions during the session as we go through this process. Ask questions at any time you possibly can through any avenue, on Twitter, through the videos, through email. And let me know. I will get back to you in the next session. If there's a bunch of emails, it might take me a little while to get through all of that, but let me get back to you and answer your questions and see if we can't find processes aligned to exactly fulfilling the life that you want to create. Become authentic with yourself. Find that authenticity by locking yourself into your true self. So again, have questions, let me know, and let's get you moving to the life that you want to create. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy.